So you're welcome back to another video episode, week 8, that is web performance optimization. So what do we hope to learn for our first class on Saturday? So we are going to learn the following: what is web performance optimization, importance of web performance optimization, and this I got from Free Code Camp. It's a very good blog web post there. So we have another thing that we'll learn: React performance optimization techniques. So we are going to learn how to use all these techniques to improve the speed of our React application. So you're going to learn about list visualization, lazy loading images, memorization, throttling and debouncing, events, code splitting, React fragments, make use of function in set state, avoid inline styling, and use transition hook. So that is all that we'll learn for our week, or for our Sunday's class. So for the Saturday's class, so for the Sunday's class, we're going to learn the following. So we are going to learn optimizing web assets. So how do we optimize our web asset? The minification and compression techniques. So that is a mistake, that is a typo error. Then we have to place images in React, saving images in Cloudinary, and using the production mode. So all this is what we'll learn for this week 8. So let's get started with our first lesson. What is web performance optimization? Now, performance optimization is a critical aspect of web development or web applications. Users expect applications to load quickly and respond to their interactions smoothly. Now, in the React ecosystem, performance optimization techniques can significantly enhance the user experience by reducing load times and improving responsiveness. Now, this being said, that means a website is optimized if it does not lag and if the user find it easy and fast to use. So next we move to the importance of web performance optimization, and here are some of the benefits. Better user experience. Now, a slow loading or lagging application can lead to poor user experience, negatively impacting your business. So whether you're bidding for yourself or for someone else, it can affect the business. Now, user expects fast and responsive interaction, and performance optimization helps deliver that. So that is the importance. So my advice is, don't wait until after you finish your project before you start applying the lessons you've learned for this week to optimize your website. Make it part of your habit as a developer, and you will do the job once and for all. Now, improve SEO, which is search engine optimization. Search engines like Google consider page load times and overall performance when ranking websites. A well-optimized application will rank higher in search results, making it more visible to potential users. So you don't want your clients, especially if it's a blog website or a website that needs to be known and it's complained that people are not searching or are not entering my site, or if I search specifically for a content I know I have online, I can't see it. Well, it might be because the Google search engine application or the web crawlers find your site to be so slow, so they rank it low and they usually skip it because it takes time to load. So we want to make sure that our site is as fast as possible, so it will be loved by the web crawlers. Now reduce bounce rates. If your application takes too long to load or respond, users will likely leave and never return, and that is a bad experience. Now by optimizing performance, you can reduce bounce rate and increase engagement. Now bounce rate might mean you click a button, it's not working, you don't know whether it's working or it's not working. Because of that, you're forced to click as many times as possible, and only for you to get tired and frustrated and leave the site. So you don't want your user to click as many times as possible. So want to limit the click rate. Now cost saving. A performant application requires fewer resources like server and memory to handle the same workload. This means lower hosting costs and reduced infrastructure need. So if you do a good job on your web optimization, it saves you some costs. Now the next one is competitive advantage. So the next one is the competitive advantage. A fast and efficient application sets you apart from competitors whose application may be slower or less optimized. So you can beat a competitor that already exists in the market if your own platform or your own website that is like your competitor is much faster and you find it easier. So before the person will re-strategize to optimize the website, you've already gained enough customers that the customer that left your computer website might not see a need to go back. So that is it. So according to research by Potent, a website that loads within 1 second has a conversion rate 5 times higher than a site that loads 10 seconds, that takes 10 seconds to load. So you see 1 second and 10 seconds, you see the big difference. Therefore, ensuring your application performs well is crucial for retaining users and maintaining a competitive edge. So having all these advantages in mind, we want to move next to the first real performance optimization technique, which is list visualization. So here is the code and a brief explanation. So list visualization or window involves rendering only the items currently visible on the screen. Now to do that, we need to install two packages: npm install React window and npm React visualize auto resizer. Then from the documentation, we are going to see a code that looks like this, and we are going to add it to our page or to a component, and that will work. So let's begin. So I have a React application already open there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another nav icon. I'll call it optimization 2 with another component. So let's do that so that we'll work with our own. So create another component, call it, that's not good, so call it optimization 2. Then that is the folder. Then remember, a component must have a capital letter optimization 2.jsx. So do that. Then we need to install two components. So I need to connect my internet. I've already installed it, but just to show you how to get it, let me connect my internet. So while that is going on, we can type our ROAFCE, but we'll still remove this. then save, then there's a way. So but I just want it to show on the nav bar, so I'll go to my, where is it, my routes data. So what I'll do here now is to create another one, shift alt arrow down, then I'll call this optimization 2 and call this optimization 2. So it will show me the IntelliSense now that I have something like that existing. So I'll click that, so it will auto import it. So with this simple addition, I'll have this on my route and on my nav bar. So that is nice. So here is the optimization 2. Did I not increase the test? So you see optimization. So let me differentiate it by adding 2 there. So optimization name is optimization 2. So let's do that. So we have that now. So if we go there, we'll see optimization 2. So this is the one that we'll be using. So this is the one I used to practice. So this is the one we'll be using. So that being said, that means I've installed most of the packages, but I'll show you how to do that. So type npm install React window or you can just type npm. There should be no need for the install. Npm React window. So that will take you to the npm documentation. So you click on this first one. So just for it to load, then it will take you to this documentation. Of course, this is how you install it. So you copy this, then come to your terminal, your vehicle terminal, you press plus, just a moment for it to load, then you paste it. So if you paste that and hit enter, it will install it. So I already installed that, so there's no need for me to do that. Then next we go to the documentation. We scroll down and you see, yes, I recommend using the React violation. So we are going to also see how to install this by opening on a new tab. So while that is loading, so it's also loading. So to install that too, you copy the same thing and install just as we did before. So I'm going to clean this, Ctrl Z and paste. So you hit, no, I did not copy it. So Ctrl Z and hit and paste, then hit enter. It's going to install this package also. So next we'll come back to this other first one, the React window. Then we scroll down. So there's a sample. There is a sample here for us. So we can open this on our sandbox to see the code, because it's not a good idea to start looking at this small text and copying it. You're just going to waste your time, your precious time. So let's open it on sandbox. So it will take some time to load depending on network speed. So it's installing. So in just a few moments you're going to see the code. So the code has not shown and the preview is showing. Want to show. So why is that? Okay, so that has shown. So the first thing that we need is to create a component for that. So let's create a component called visualize window. So let's do that. So I think we already have a component called visualize window. So I don't have that. Okay, so let's just create. If it exists, we're going to rename it. So let's create a component called visualize window or window visualize. Then we create we'll now create a component window visualize.jsx. Then we're not going to do our RFC because we'll copy the code from here. That's why we're going to that sandbox. So this thing I'm showing you now is just how to use or how to look for a code solution online, read it to understand what you want and edit it. So I'm going to put here as styles dot or window visualize.scss. So remember we've learned SCSS, so also so we can be using it. So I'll just do Ctrl A and Ctrl C and paste here. So I'm going to remove some of the code that does not concern this component, and that is this. This is meant to be in the app or the index.jss. So here we have it. We have that. So the next step is to come to this index.js here, which will hold the React code. So I'll copy that. So I've copied that, copy, then I'll go to that visualize video component, close this and paste that. Then I'm going to remove this because this is, we don't need this here. Then where else? So I can change this now to SCSS. Remember we use SCSS unless React to front at you. Then what I'm going to do next is to change this to window virtualize. So we need to export default window virtualize. So we end that statement. So that has worked. So the next thing that we need to do now is this. We need to call this. So we are not using this import again, so let's delete it. So the next thing that we need to do now is to call this inside our optimization tool folder to test if this is actually working. And remember I told you I've installed these two dependencies. So let's save. Then I'm going to close some of these things that we will not be needing. Close this, 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 close this. So that is it. So I'll come to this my optimization tool and I'll do Ctrl X, do my H2, and paste that. Then all I need to do is to come here and call my window virtualize. So I'll do that, so it will auto import and I'll save. So if I do this, I should be seeing my virtualized window here very soon. So my styles.scss, so that is a typo error. It's not meant to be styles.scss, it's meant to be window the don't have to type that because I'm not sure. I'm going to dot and / Windows virtualize, so that will clear the error. So it's a very good thing to learn of how to clear errors. So you see it's working. So you see, now let's play around this. So I'm going to change this width or this height because the height is always 0. So, and this is the item height. So if I increase this to 135, you see that the box will be a little bit bigger. You see, a little bit bigger. So we want to leave it at that default. Then we want to change this height to maybe 250. So you see that the height has now increased. So you see this, I have about 1000 things to show, but you see it's not lagging my website because it's using this visualized window. Now what if we want to show some things different from this? So we can come back here and say list of Bible books. So let's get a list. So let's say we don't want to show this, we want to make it practical now. List of Bible books. So let's see, I have this. I want to see the 66 books. Then we just copy it and convert it to an array. Then let's see how we show it. So I'll just copy from here. Down to here. So I have that. Oh, that is not. Then so I'll copy this one first, Ctrl C. So I have that Malachi, that is the Old Testament. So I'll come here, I have an array, so I can create this. Let Bible books be equal to an array of this. What? So it seems it's not arranged in logical order. Okay, so I think we need to look for another resource, but oh, I didn't copy. I didn't copy logically, and I was expecting it to show logically. So I have this now. Ctrl C. So I'll paste that. So you see how it looks like now from Genesis to Revelation. Then I think let's do this one first. so that I will not waste time. It's just an example. So to make this into an array, I have to put it inside a double quote, then a comma. So I have to use my Alt to now highlight as many as I can. So I'll put a quote, then go back and put a comma. That's nice. So we've done that. So the next step is to do this. So imagine if we are doing this for the 66 books. So that will be so long. So let me just do this one. So let's see how we can show what we want and not just that default example. And this is how you learn, or this is how you know that you've understood how to use a package. So it's not just about, oh, the code has worked, but how can you use it to fit your own need, as different from the basic example that was given to you in the documentation. So let's do that immediately. So again, I shift, then right arrow twice, then do this. I think we are at the last now. So immediately I save this, my prettier is going to adjust this so that the space will not be too much. So I think, so let me click format, right click format document with prettier. Okay, I've already done that. So what if I want to show this instead of this default rule of 1, 2, 3? So to do this, now you see this method that is here, if you notice, it is structuring from this list item here, and you can see a row here. So it then means this is like using a for loop or a while loop to loop through an array. So all we need now, we have access to the index and to the stylings if we want. So what I need to do here now is very simple. I need to comment that out. Then instead of this, I will now put my environment, then Bible, books, then array index. So it's not going to show me the index 0 is this, so as many as it is on my index. So that has to show me. So it show me number 1 Genesis, number 2, just like that, up till it gets to the last year, which is what, Hosea, which is 28. So let's save that. So if we save that now, we come back to our React. What are we seeing? So let me refresh this. So now we see that we are getting it just the way we want. So we have our Genesis, we have our Exodus down to the last. But you see that this is not dynamic because it meant to show 28, but you see that it's still making room for 1,000. So we can prevent that by coming down here, and you see this item count. Now if you over it will show you an IntelliSense, the total number of items in the list. So the total number of items should be the length of the array. So if I put my numbers here, Bible books dot length, to get the length of the array. So that will fix that bug now. So you see, so it's just as long as the length of the array. So it will not show me for 10,000 when I just have 28. So you see, this is how you can use this optimization. And because of this list optimization, if you like, let it be 1 million, it will only load as many as it can load based on this window size. So if I scroll down, that is going to start reloading the rest. So or loading the rest. So this is how we use the first technique, which is what? The list optimization. Then the next one is this, is lazy loading images. So this lazy loading images is similar to the list virtualization technique. Lazy loading images prevent the creation of unnecessary DOM nodes, thereby boosting performance. Lazy loading allows you to defer or delay the loading of images until they are needed or visible to the user, instead of loading all the images on page load. So that is what it does. So that's why it says similar to the visualization technique. So we are going to install just a package, which is React lazy load image component. There from the documentation, we will see how to get an example that is as simple as this. So let's do that. So again, I'll move to the web and I'll type here npm react lazy load image component. So I've used it before, so I'll click this, and of course it's a package, we need to install it. So to install this, you copy this, then if you go to your terminal, remember I've practiced this, so I'll do Ctrl Z, or better still I clear, then I'll paste this. Oh, not that, it means it has not copied, so it has copied now. So I'll paste that and hit enter. So I've already installed this, so there will be no need to install that. So next we scroll down and look at the example. So this is just a simple example that is there. This is how you lazy load an image. So I'm going to show you how to use this lazy load component to load as many images that you can from what we have on our JSON placeholder API. So that's what I'll do. I'll just copy this, Ctrl C, then I'm going to create a different component called lazy load image 2. Remember, I have one there already. So I'll put this lazy image 2, then I'll create the actual component now. So lazy image 2 .jsx. Then next, what will I do now is to paste this. So I'm going to export this as, so if I tap this, I'll press my Ctrl D to select both of them, then I'll put it to lazy image 2. Then I'm going to refactor this. So this is going to be a block or a box. Then I'll put return space this, then I'll put my parentheses, then I close my, so that means I can write a function like JavaScript. So that is the reason for that. So we will refactor this to show us only our URL. So remember URL. Then I'm going to remove this because we don't need it. Then I'm going to do a conditional rendering here, CareerEX. So I'm going to put here that if my URL is not defined, is not true, okay, it's true, then it will load the image. But if it is not true, so not URL and to now show me a span tag that will say please provide a URL. So if I save that, this is already an error because we are not passing a URL, but it's not going to show an error because it's not rendering it. So let's see what it will display. So you notice we are not seeing our please provide a URL, and one of the reasons is because first of all we've not called this our component on the optimization tool. So let's do that below lazy load image tool. So if we do that and save, come back to our browser, you notice I'm not seeing, I'm seeing it here, if you notice. So let me slowly catch it. So you see, please provide a URL, but it's meant to be stacked on top of each other. So to solve this, we need some CSS and some arrangements. So I'm going to do a CareerEX here, and I will change this to an ID of line 1. So I'll paste that, then do my CareerEX, my ID of line 2. So I paste that, then I'm going to change this to ID of optimization 2. Of course, while we're here, let's import it. So import dot / optimize. So let's just paste that. Ctrl C. Ctrl V. Optimization 2 dot SCSS. Now we have not created it. That was why we are not seeing the IntelliSense. So let's do that. So let's create the file optimization 2 dot gsx dot scss. Hit enter. So we can have the ID here and paste. Then now we are good to go. So what we need to do here now is to do a display grid. We can use grid just to be simple. Then grid template columns should be 1 F arrow, then place items should be left, or we can use center. then the gap should be 1 arrow here. So if we do this, let's see what we'll have. We have something that looks like this. But now let's not target that line 1 and line 2 and give them a default height. So the line 1 is going to have the same height as the height of the window container, which is 250 pixels. So the height is going to be 250 pixels. Then you should have a border of 1 pixel solid red. Then let's do that of line 2. So line 2 we also have that of, so we'll not use pixel, let's use this 60 view height. Then this should be blue. So if I save this, so let's see how it looks like now. So let's refresh this. So I'm not getting my CSS applied, so let's see why. Oh, I've not saved, bro, wisdom. So you see, so if I save that, I have this. So next we need to give this a width. So we just put a width of 100% for each of them. Width 100%. So if we do that, we'll have this. So you notice we're having this now and we're having this. Very nice. So what we can do now is this. Let me put the width as 95. Okay, that's nice. So we have this now. So the next thing now, so you notice that here I'm having my optimization here. So let's do the same thing here. So the next step is for us to install Axios, because we need Axios to make our API request to this JSON placeholder .typecode.com. Then if you scroll down, you're going to see so many free resources that you can use. So we have the post on. So if I click on this now, if you make that request, get request, you get all of this. Very nice. So if you make that of users, you get all this. So you get the person's name, the person's username, the person's email, the person's address, the person's street number, the suite, the city, the zip code, the geo, latitude and longitude. So, but we don't need this now. So what we just need is the photos. So we need to get all these photos and load them. And how many are there? From the documentation is about 500. So we need to copy this. But first of all, let's learn how to install Axios. So I'll do npm Axios. So to install Axios, when you open this documentation by npm, which is Node Package Manager, you're going to see how to do that. So to install Axios, just type npm install Axios. Then to know how to use it, if you scroll down, look at the example, you can see the one that suits your need, or the one that is easier for you to understand. So there are so many ways here. So if you have the time, you read until you're tired of reading. So I already know what I want to use, so let me see if I can show you the one that is similar to what I want to use, so that you know that it's inside the documentation. So scroll down. So Ashers.get user this performing multiple occurrence requests. No, so this one is advanced. I hope I've not passed it. This is similar. So Ashers.get, then your URL, then if the function is true, then you log this, but if it's not true, you do your .catch. So this is easier to what I want to do, or similar. So if I come to my terminal again and I clean this off and I type npm install Ashers, so it's going to install the Ashers. So I already have it installed, so let's begin to use it now. So in our lazy image, we need a state. So I'll select images, set images, then use state, then I'll have it as null. Now I'm saving it as null so that I can do a conditional rendering. So why is less showing an error? Okay, the error will disappear, and it has. So the next thing I want to do now is we want to use our use effect. So one of the use of the use effect is to make a background request before a page loads or after a page loads. You still make you run a function or a set of functions whenever a state change. So we use the use effect like so. Then I'll put my dependency arrays. So since I want it to run only once, the dependency array will be empty. If I want it to run each time an image is being added to the images that I to fetch, I'll put what images here. Or each time I update something and I want it to update, I need to do that. So I'll put Ashers here dot get, then the URL. So I'll paste that. No, that is not it. Ctrl Z. So I'll come back to the website and copy this, which is Ctrl C now. Then I'll come back to my VS Code and paste that. So Pretty has done some fast injection, but I've removed that. So the next thing I need to do is dot then I'll put my response. It can be anything, but that's the one I'm fond of using. So I'm going to show you. I'll do the console.log resp.data. Now we saw this on the documentation. So if I go to the documentation, you see resp.data. So this means it's going to show us something that looks like this. If we do resp.status, it's going to show you a status code of 200. That means it's okay. Then status test is okay. Then the headers, then the config. If you want all those things, but we don't want it for this purpose. So .catch. So in case there's an error, you will be able to know that an error occurred. So my function again, then console.log error, then error. So if I do this now, and go to my console, I'm going to see the list of 5,000 images, which is very big. So the console, so you see an array of what? 5,000 images. So the next thing for us to do now is to update the set images. So put set images, then we'll now update rest.data. So it's going to show us that. So that means we can now map through it. So what we are going to do here again is to cut this out, then do our conditional rendering, so that if so we need to put our JavaScript environment here. So we need to add our JavaScript environment here. Then just a moment. Then we're not conditionally render that, and because we are already inside the JSS environment, we need to enter a JavaScript environment if we have to do our conditional rendering again. So let's do that. So I'll just put this: if my image is true and then I want to load this. But before we load that, remember we have a map to do. So I'll now put images.map, then I put my image, then instead of doing this I just put my return at once. That is the shortcut. So I paste this. So as I've done this now, I have my images.auth, images.this, images.that. So let's confirm if all these details exist from the backend. So from the JSON backend. So if I look at this, I have an ID, I have the title, URL, not source. So I have URL, the title, and ID. So let's change that. So this auth now should be what? The title. This height here, we don't have the height from that object, so put our default height, which is 300. Then our default width will be what? See the same 300. Then our src now will be our URL. Then what do we need now? Then we need a key. The key will now be images or image.id, so that React will not frown at us. Okay, so that is it. Then one last thing now, this string Ctrl+X is going to come from the prop, so put URL here, because even though I still leave it like this, it will not render, because we said if image is true, and an image cannot be true when it has not rendered anything. So to prevent an error here, we say if image is true, if URL is true, show the URL, else show an empty string. So that is for that. So if I save now, of course there will be no visible change. It will tell me please provide a URL. So even though I refresh, the guide is still there. So that's one beauty about programming. Once you can understand each line of code, why each line of code should be there, then it will be easier for you to process the code even without the help of VS Code. So I'll go to my optimization tool. I'll come here and add the URL. So you notice it knows we need something like that, then I'll paste. Okay, so we have that now. So if I save this, we'll begin to see some new things. So what is that? So let's go to our console. Let's see if we have some errors. Image.map is not a function like this. So what did we do wrong? So if images is true, do this images, then here we are set images refs.data. Then here we are having the URL. Okay, I don't think we have an error. I just refresh the page. Okay, so again, if you understand the code and what you've written, then you know when you have an error and when you don't. So we are supposed to be seeing our images, but we aren't seeing one. So see, they have come. So there was a delay, but finally it came. But as we are optimizing the website now, we will not get to see that. Nice. So you see, so we don't want this to be overflowing. We want it to always remain within this window, and that is why if we click here, it's showing us a blank page. So let's do that in our Windows. This, so where do you do our list 1 and list 2 is this. So in our list 2, we want the height to be that, then overflow Y should be what? Scroll. Then overflow X should be hidden. So let's check that. So you see that has been fixed now. So I can scroll down within here and I have that. Very nice. So you see how it is optimized. So next, let's see how we can add a gap to this. So you can come to the image 2 here, then we look at this. So I can call this my images. I can give it a class of images, then I'll give this a class name of image. So remember, this is a fragment, and so this image is holds all this. So if I save this, I can come to my optimization tool here and put here dot images, then display grid, display grid. So grid template column should be repeat 3 1 F arrow, then we have a gap of 0.5 REM, then place items should be center. So let's do that and we'll see what we have. Yes, so we have the items placed at the center and we have these unique images. So you see how we've done it now. We have, so if we need to show more than one images, we don't want them to slow down our site, so we want to use the lazy image loading. So you see that the site is working fast and fast. You see there's no delay. Very nice. So that is it for this video. So in the next video we are now going to learn the memorization techniques